Hello and welcome to this week's vlog. Excuse the hat. And we're going to cut the lawns and trim. Ongoing thing to do in this weather for sure. It keeps growing. No rain, warm weather, this grass won't stop. I'm going to pop the birds out the way. He hates the mower, the others don't care. So he's in a shady corner out of sight. See what else we've got soon. What are we doing? We're going to do a little bit of training with one of our European eagle owls, Roscoe. Emily here is pretty much in sole charge of this guy, but obviously if she flies him on her own every day, when you guys come back for one of your experience days or one of our amazing experience days for you, we'll have a bird that really quite likes just flying for Emily on his own and probably won't do a darn thing when you're around. So get used to their habit and routine, and if their habit and routine is only to fly with one person, that's what they like to do best. And obviously you guys haven't been here for a long time, so where we can, we kind of chip in as Emily's guinea pigs. We're the experience day guests, and just to give Roscoe that feeling that multiple people around is no different at all for him. We'll see how he goes. Okay, factory Chris full crew with Roscoe, European eagle owl. He's a male. Like birds of prey in general, he's not as big as his girlfriend, if you like, as the females. By the way, this is our hawk walk field, our main hawk walk field. If you come with us and you fly various birds in different fields, and we tend to bring you here because it's absolutely gorgeous and a great tree line for going on a hawk walk with our Harris hawks. A nice long area, and it gives the hawks that lovely easy life of flying up into the trees, and then you get to see them stooping back down to the glove or coming down at a steep angle. So he's having a look round. So as we discussed, he's been flying on his own for quite a few weeks. Well, not on his own, just with Emily for company. And being an owl, he's out of his routine. He's thinking about stuff, and he's thinking, who the heck are those other people? So he's going to sit and think about it. But he's lucky because he's in the shade. So he's talkative, that's his happy sound. That means he's not too worried about his surroundings really. But being an owl, you rely on your camouflage as your first line of defence. So until it's really sure it's all safe, keeping still is the best bet. If you look like a tree stump, you don't really want to fly around. So he's scanning around, swiveling his head around. So of course they're looking, calling him from the front, he's looking behind him, seeing what's in the trees. Let's see. Now he doesn't like blue hats. I don't wear blue hats, hardly ever. I was wearing one a minute ago and it did kind of upset him. So whether, I'm not wearing it now, but whether he's thinking, you're still there, evil being. Let's have a look. So Emily's there. So the way our birds work on our experience days is that they'll trust generally, not everyone, but generally anyone as long as one of our falconers is with them, and that makes a massive difference. That's the person they've got the bond with and the trust with. There you go, have a look, have a look.
Come on.
Look at that. Look at that. Now, if you're going to be worrying about things or not quite sure, being high up a tree is definitely going to make you feel more secure if you're an owl than low down on a T-perch. And up there, of course, you can see a lot more stuff. So what he'll do is spend a lot longer before he comes back down until he's satisfied himself that it's safe. Now, I've got stuff to do. I'm kind of the boss, I guess. So I'll leave the two girls to stand here boringly looking at a tree with an owl in while I go and crack on with some lawn mowing and some strimming. He's rousing, he's relaxed. He's going to be so happy up there. I'll report back when I find out exactly how long it took to get Roscoe down from the tree.
So that didn't quite go to plan, so I'm getting on with cleaning up his poop again.
I'm not really big on roses normally because I like natural wildflowers in my garden because they're better for wildlife and they're prettier. But you know what? We planted this climbing rose last year and it's really flowering away, full of buds. And what we've loved doing here over the last sort of 18 months is recycling, technically scrap stuff lying around. It was just all part of this estate, and we think with a lick of paint, slight repurpose, change of use, but we think, do you know what? It all looks so in keeping. It makes the place look great and really, really different but beautiful. So Joe, on these vlogs, it's usually myself or Georgia because as everyone knows, we're social distancing, so we haven't actually seen each other much, have we? And
No, very little.
Very little.
Usually I'm in and you're not. So
yeah, well, so we're all, between us, we're all taking care of the place and the birds. But as I've been saying, really and truly, it's you and Emily that are flying the birds and exercising them, like Bentley here. Whereas I'm doing most of the maintenance and not flying any birds at all, really. Very strange times. There's James, one of our very helpful volunteers. And this is Bentley. What is Bentley, Joe?
Bentley is an African hooded vulture, and she's a critically endangered species in the wild. So she's a very important bird to have here, really, to educate people about the problems with vultures.
Yeah, true. So why are they endangered? I'm going to guess it's obviously to do with us people.
Obviously to do with people. Everything is to do with
It seems
people.
to be, doesn't it, really? Root of all evils, really, for the natural world.
I mean, the main one really is poachers in Africa, so that's a huge problem for these guys. They want to poach elephant tusks. It takes a long time to get those tusks out of the elephant. In the meantime, these guys will be giving away where they're doing it to the authorities. And so therefore, the poachers have now decided that they're going to poison these guys first so that they don't give away their situation.
Great, so not necessarily after the vultures themselves, but actually a byproduct of the fact the vultures really are snitching on the poachers by accident. They're just waiting for the poachers to go so they can feast on the remains, and those vultures soaring above basically tell the authorities where the poachers are doing the poaching kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's probably the biggest thing in Africa, really. There's the problem. There is an added thing that the locals believe if you eat the eyes and brains of a vulture, you become clairvoyant. So they do cut the heads off them and drive them and sell them in the markets. Still
that kind of voodoo medicine kind of thing, that kind of, you know, non-scientific medicine that's just...
I think they'd realise, wouldn't you, once they'd eaten it and they weren't clairvoyant, that it didn't work.
No, and you kind of think if the vulture was clairvoyant, it'd know not to be where it's about to get shot, wouldn't you, or killed, yeah. It's absolutely crazy, isn't it?
Problem as well in different parts of Africa. So they've got a lot against them, these guys.
Wow, and do you know, I mean, we think she's beautiful. I know you love these guys, but a lot of people look at a vulture and think, oh, it's ugly. do we need to care if they're wiped out? Does it matter? I know it's another species, but who cares kind of thing? Does it matter? What do they do that's any good?
They're a huge important part of the ecosystem really, because they clean up all the carcasses, so stop disease from spreading. Getting bored sitting there.
Oh, fair play. So she's a clean-up crew really, big time.
She is, yeah, definitely. Recycler really of the bird of prey world. So a very important part of the ecosystem. And she's built for purpose. That's why she looks like she does. You may think she looks ugly. I think she looks beautiful. And look how she's flushed a beautiful pink colour because she's happy. It's her way of communicating. But she's built for keeping clean. So, you know, if you were sticking your head the wrong way up a zebra 24/7, you don't want long hair. So
fair enough, so easy clean hairdo kind of thing.
Yeah, she's got a number 3 haircut really, hasn't she?
I've got to be honest, I once had my head pretty much shaved for quite a while. Yeah, it's a lot easier to keep on top of, I tell you, so I can understand that for sure. Here she comes. What a beauty. So really her job here, she's an ambassador for a kind and gives our Experience Day guests at Icarus Falconry at Holdenby House a real sort of get up close and personal and hopefully
definitely appreciate
appreciation of them.
A sort of a critically endangered species fly to you, because
wow,
these guys are going to be gone in the wild within 50 to 100 years.
That's absolutely crazy. And that's a lot of the research is showing, isn't it, that for this particular species of vulture, whatever we do, unless there's huge changes,
it's not going to happen.
It breeds so slowly, it's so long lived, but such a slow reproduction, it's probably not going to survive.
They don't even breed every year, so one chick probably every 2 years. That's, you know, they're killing them faster than they can actually reproduce.
What a terrible shame. So here in the Northamptonshire countryside on daylight today, you can really appreciate these things, and we hope people get behind the vulture, won't we? And a bit of understanding, a bit of knowledge that leads to conservation. That's our job here, really, isn't it, Joe? Icarus Falconry.
She's the best ambassador you could get for vultures. So hopefully, come along on an Experience Day, get the pleasure of flying a critically endangered species.
Wow. And now, before anyone, because there's still people that just don't understand keeping animals in captivity or why, or falconry. Now, she was captive bred here, wasn't she, in the UK. She wasn't stolen from Africa, another one gone. She was actually captive bred in the UK. She's getting on now, but she'll live a long time.
Yeah, all our birds here that we have at Icarus are captive bred. Some are hand reared, such as the owls, so that they're not frightened of the job we do. Others are reared by their parents, and that works better for that species. So whichever works better for the species.
To work with them, yeah. So really, now I know because I'm here, that she spent quite a bit of a young life and into her adulthood being an ambassador, and that's her conservation job, to work with people and let people meet her and see her, more than anything, flying wonderfully. But we've also introduced her to a couple of mates, and she just doesn't want to have it, does she? So she's going to continue not being part of a breeding project. She hates everyone she meets of the vulture kind, really. She's actually going to, here she comes. Her job for conservation is to really spread the word then, isn't it?
It is. We've tried to put her into a breeding project, and it's just not going to happen. So therefore she might as well do this wonderful job that she's doing with us, going to events when they start reopening again, hopefully.
Yeah.
And flying on Experience Days when we can open up and do that, and to show you guys and change your guys' opinions on vultures, really.
Brilliant. So if you're in the UK or you're visiting the UK post-coronavirus lockdown, Google www.icarusfalconry.co.uk. What's at the bottom of it? This little guy's a short-tailed opossum, South American marsupial, highly insectivorous. There she's eating mealworms. And she's part of our Raptor Exotics rainforest talks, really. That's her job here. But I've got to tell you, we just love having her around. What a real cutie pie. Prehensile, short tail, hence short-tailed opossum, but a prehensile tail that she can use to help her climb and curl around branches. There's a poo. Hi everybody, just thought we'd show you one of our new animals. Now, It's another blue-tongue skink. You've met Bindi, our really big blue-tongue skink. This is a youngster and she hasn't been handled that much by her previous owners. And to be honest, she's quite skittish. She huffs and puffs and hisses. Doesn't really want to come out and be handled yet. We're just getting her used to it, but blue-tongues are great. They soon settle down. And I know she's a bit nervous. She's just weed all over me. They are stunning. Blue-tongue skinks, they're a beautiful tongue colour. And look at the patterns on this girl. They're all very variable. It's not the Australian blue tongue. These skinks, the two we have, both come from the islands above Papua New Guinea, and Irian Jaya is the other one we have. Irian Jaya, sorry. Quite good ears, quite good eyesight. I love blue tongue skinks. And you know what? Bearded dragons are nice pets. Blue tongue skinks look nicer. And to be honest, once they settle down and get used to being handled, they are super friendly. Just have a quick look. Hold on, darling. Look at her beautiful eyes. Absolutely gorgeous. And they're one of the few lizards that really make eye contact with you. You can see their eyes moving and they'll look you in the eye and they'll soon recognise their owner. She's going to get twice as long and 4 times as big kind of thing. Blue tongue skink. Going to give her some quality food now and pop her away. We're in the weighing room, and one thing we have to do regularly with birds of prey if you're keeping them as, we're not emu, keeping as falconry birds, is regularly grease their anklets here. These are made of leather, while nowadays I've long since used man-made kind of material, Dacron braid here for my jesses and leashes and such like. It's still really leather that's the best thing for anklets. And you need to oil it or grease it just like you would a horse's tack, simply because if you leave leather to weather outside in the sun and the rain and you don't bother putting some kind of leather preservative on it, excuse me, it'll eventually become stiff, brittle, it'll crack, and it'll probably part company. Not a good thing. You want it to serve its purpose well. And of course, if you're wearing anything made of leather, I know what some of you guys get up to. If you're wearing anything made of leather, you want it to be soft and supple, because weathered leather really does go really hard, like super hard cardboard. Golden eagles, like Zeus here, many of the true eagles really, they have fully feathered legs. If you look at our other birds, you'll see their legs are scaly, like a typical bird's legs, all the way up to about here. The true eagles or the booted eagles, they have fully feathered legs. Feathers softer than scales, so if you don't keep the leather anklets in good condition, it'll rub away and chafe at the feathers. We don't want that. We want them in perfect condition. And you behave yourself. So weekly, twice weekly, we apply a leather dressing. Everyone has their own favourite. Many people make their own out of beeswax and various other natural substances, and in fact that's the ingredient to a lot of leather dressings. I like this one. What do we got here? I like this one. I like using it. I like the way it goes on. I like the sort of the clear colour of it. What we don't want to do is get it all over his feathers and make them all soggy and greasy. But you can see we're working it in, and it warms up with your fingers. Really important if you're keeping falconry birds, birds of prey, keep their anklets and their leather equipment nice and supple. If you let it go really hard and brittle because you're lazy, it's very difficult to get that suppleness back. It takes about 5 minutes. Come on guys, doesn't take long. That's him done. You can see here Zeus has got a big fat bit here. That's his crop. That's the hamster's pouch, if you like. There's his food in there. He's had a big old feed today, and he'll gradually throughout the day pass it over from his crop down into his tummy and digest that food. Thanks for watching, you guys. Like and subscribe.